Well, Alex, this is one of my favorite parts of the chat is really kind of segueing into the opportunity for you to be our professor in essence and host a master class and really talk us through kind of the whole idea of if you could do this over again, if you started again tomorrow, what would your startup look like? And I'm really kind of curious what would you do the same business again, or would you do something else? And maybe give us, two or three just really foundational steps over the next, 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever you want to take. But just really help listeners as if they're thinking about launching something tomorrow, walk us through some, lessons you've learned in the last 14 months, just 2 or 3 of them.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for calling me a professor. It's very humbling. I'm definitely not that. But I'm definitely learning a lot more. I'm definitely the student at this point. But if I'm in the professor's shoes right now, I would say that I would start Tellinga all over again, but I would do it way differently. And if I knew, back then what I know now, things would look so much different, and I would move so much faster. If I were to start Tellinga tomorrow, it would take me a month to 2 to really get up and running versus what took me about 6 or 7 months to get to a point where I felt good about the sales that were coming through. So I would still pursue Tellinga because I'm just truly passionate about it at this point. I believe in it. The sales have been healthy. It continues to trend upwards and gain a lot of traction. I would definitely stay with Tellinga. There is another idea that I really enjoy. It was something that I pitched in grad school, is coffee syringe. It's where you would take coffee condiments, cream, sugar, whatever else that you put in your coffee, and put it in essentially like a coffee syringe. And instead of having, one little pack of sugar, one little thing of cream, and then a stick, just stir it all up whenever you're done. It's an all-in-one unit that you could take and inject into your coffee, stir it up with the syringe, and then throw it out and dispose of it whenever you're done. And it's for the coffee drinker on the go. I pitched that in a event called 3-Day Startup at Rice, and I did very well with it. And that's another idea I'm thinking about potentially pursuing, hopefully in the future. And if any of your listeners like that idea and want to reach out to me, potentially wanting to start it with me, drop me a line and I will we'll talk about it with you for sure. But at this point, it's 100% Tellinga moving forward. The 2 or 3 things that I would want to let your listeners know is research. I didn't do enough of that early on. I was very naive, and I learned all of this at Rice to do an ample amount of research to figure out the market, figure out how to position this. And I learned all of this, but for whatever reason, turned off my brain after I left the classroom, decided not to practice it. And I don't know why I thought I was better than, the business world, everything leading up to 2018, essentially, and what's happened in the business world, and totally neglect all the academic information that I've learned in my MBA. For some reason, I didn't do that. So I would research a whole lot more. Another thing, I created Tellinga exclusively by myself. Everything has been done by me and the artists, but they are the creators. They're the artistic side, if you will. And then I'm the business seat, right? I'm the business end. I'm the guy that makes everything happen from marketing to accounting to finance to everything in between to get Tellinga off and running. And it's taken me quite a while to get Tellinga to where it needs to be. It took me a while to get to the point where you would take me seriously enough to have me on your podcast and to explain Tellinga. So I would very early on, find a numbers guy and delegate that role and responsibility to him. I would find maybe perhaps a marketing person. I would get some legal help, or find a legal representative to help me assist me and move faster than learn it by myself. And then maybe even most importantly, I would find a person like a programmer, coder, someone that's good with tech that would be able to help me and move so much faster. There is a huge part of me though that there's a lot of what you learn in the classroom. A lot of the information I was learning at Rice was great, but to me, it's like if you don't use it, you lose it. And I really wanted to practice a lot of the things that I was learning in the classroom. And so, although I say that I would find people and delegate roles and responsibilities, I really feel like what was best for me, at least for the past 14 months and starting Tellinga and getting it to where it needs to be moving forward into 2020, was to really learn by just throwing myself in there and letting me fail a few times to finally have a few successes, right? To take 10 steps back and 5 steps forward, and then 5 steps back and then 10 steps forward. So it's been kind of trial and error, but I really feel like that I needed to go through it myself. But then again, it would move so much faster if I were to allocate roles and responsibilities early on. And then lastly, I would have put together a pitch deck a lot sooner rather than just kind of build out the company. And, I would probably pair a business plan with that. And I'd probably raise a little bit of capital early on to accelerate the growth as much as possible. So I would say, research as much as possible, find the right team, allocate roles and responsibilities, and then put together that pitch deck in order to raise a small amount of capital so I could spend money pretty freely in a smart way, obviously, but this would help me move that much faster.